How has the NDDC fared in the last 25 years? How has the commission impacted the lives of the people of that region? We have Marvin Yobana, a former African representative, World Assembly of Youth, and a Niger Delta youth advocate. He joins me in the studio to look at this issue. Glad to have you join me.
Thank you for having me.
Good, wonderful. So let's do a trip 25 years backwards to date. What would you say NDDC has contributed to that region? How have they fared?
Well, like the former president said, Goodluck Ebele Jonathan said during the closing ceremony of the anniversary, 25 years anniversary, NDDC has had a long term of unstable leadership, short term, middle term, and all that and so forth. Every administration that comes will change 4 to 5 persons of management. Some will be a sole administrator managing the place and so on. But this is the first time that they've had a long, stable leadership. And you can see that NDDC has been transformed from transactional, becoming an effective developmental agency in the region. That is what accounts for the over 2,000 kilometers of roads, bridges, that this administration, led by Samuel Oboko, has been able to put in place. This is the first time that NDDC will be commissioning a bridge of up to 1 kilometer, 600 meters and all that. This is the first time you have legacy projects being commissioned in all the 9 states in the Niger Delta. So it shows that when there is stability, there will be development in the region. And you know, NDDC has had a long issue of non-compliance by the IOCs. You know, NDDC was set up by an act of parliament by the National Assembly. And the IOCs were mandated to pay a certain percentage as cost of their production to the Niger Delta Development Commission. Many of them defaulted. And that's why I want to thank the Financial Crime Commission, the EFCC, for what they did. They've been able to intervene in that area and been able to recover a lot of funds, which has helped this current administration to work. And those monies have been redeployed to the Niger Delta region, and that is why you see what you see today. Let me say a little bit about youth development and training and empowerment that this administration has carried out. There's a scheme called the Foreign Students Scheme, carried out by the Niger Delta Development Commission. In the past, students were abandoned, and you see protests in London, different parts of the world, by NDDC, supposed to be those who got scholarships from NDDC. But as this administration came on board, they were able to clear all those outstanding bills for the students, and they got over 2,000 students enlisted into the same scheme. And if you look at the Niger Delta, for instance, for this few period, you'll find out that the level of crime and insecurity has come down. Why? Because NDC came out with a policy which is called Light Up the Niger Delta. You know, we had issues of electricity in the region, and some communities cannot be reached by even this, what they call the national grid. So what NDDC did was to take to solar, light up these communities. So you find out that the community themselves came out and started securing their community because they have light, they can see people. People cannot longer assemble and cause any kind of crime within the area. It reduced crime. And this administration did something that is very informative. In their project execution, they didn't just come, I'm from Ogoni. They didn't just come to Ogoni and say, look, we are going to do this project, XY project. No. While I was the local government caretaker chairman of my LGA, the NDDC engaged the local government and said, what are your areas, your immediate areas of need? We have interest in solar lights and solar water. Do you think the communities need this? So we had to organize a town hall meeting where the NDDC management at the state level and at the national level sent their directors and their representatives to interface with the people with the community youth leaders, with the CDC chairman, with the chiefs and elders.
So it's not a question of thinking for the people,
No,
or thinking you
at
know
all.
what the people want.
At all.
It's a
Look,
question of asking
engaging
the
the
people,
people.
engaging the
Yes.
people. Yeah.
And if you look at the last seminar that they just held, the one they held in Owerri, it was a direct engagement with the young people and the women. Because NDDC for the first time has set up what they call a scheme where entrepreneurs can go and get funds and grow their business.
Let's talk a little about what the former president said, that this is the first time in the history of NDDC that you're having a semblance of a long stay of the management. Going forward, should, both this administration, successive ones, adopt that template of letting the management, stay for quite a while? When we were discussing, say, some 4 months, some 8 months, and
you see, the Niger Delta Development Commission is a subject of law, and if the government at the federal level understands the law and respects the law and obeys the law, they have a tenure, a statutory tenure of 4 years that can be
if you want to, renewed.
Can be renewed, and after the statutory 4 years and is renewed for 1 more term, it now moves to another state. You have 9 states, so you can shuffle it, but you cannot remove the management in between that tenure. But successive government did it.
Why?
Because politics. Some is politics. Maybe they have an interest in one thing and the other. And this is the first time, I must commend the National Assembly. This is the first time you see National Assembly cooperating with the management of NDDC. In the past, what we used to have was the National Assembly in war with the Niger Delta Development Commission, because almost all the projects, there's interest from the National Assembly and say, no, this project must go here, this project must be given to this and that and that and that. But this is the first time the management has not complained about the National Assembly. Rather, what we see is that whenever their budget is taken to the National Assembly, it's given experienced, what do you call, they are experienced hearing, and they passed and cleared like that. So
at the floor of the
at the floor of the House, and you don't see all these demands from the National Assembly to say we want this, we want that. And now this is the first time some of my people do contracts in the NDDC. This is the first time contractors are saying, look, they don't need to know anybody before they get paid in the NDDC. Once they finish their jobs, and the jobs are done properly, and they go through all the legal processes, yes, they must get paid.
Let's talk about the Senate President. Yeah. He says the Niger Delta region produces Nigerians' wealth. Yeah. In another way, the hen that lays the golden eggs, as it were. So they have a right to determine who manages the wealth of the region. Is it a question of resource control? How do you evaluate that statement from the Senate President? Well,
the statement of the President is a statement of fact, because you can see that over 80% of what the country depends on comes from the Niger Delta region. In fact, our daughter, the celebrated daughter, who is in the International Monetary Fund, Okonjo-Iweala, was a guest lecturer in this closing ceremony, and she did mention clearly what the Niger Delta produces and why the Niger Delta must be given special recognition, and they must look at the Niger Delta to ensure that those issues of poverty and environmental issues are treated.
But over the years,
and given priority.
The government have looked at Niger Delta. You have a derivative formula. You have, over the years, in fact, the talk has been that they've been shooting themselves in the leg, because it's been the people of the region who's been managing the affairs of NDDC.
You're very right. But the point is that in paper, that is correct. In practical, that is not true. Because the federal government itself knows how much they are owing the NDDC. The IOCs, who are supposed to be contributors, are only owing billions of dollars to the NDDC. If these monies are paid, the Niger Delta will not be what it is today. They can see that with the little resources and with the little consistency, that has been maintained by this administration, this current administration, you can see the development. You can see things happening. I can tell you that most communities in the Niger Delta do not see any government activity more than that of NDDC. They do not even recognize that there's government, local government working anywhere. All they see is NDDC signboard here and there in every project. Talk of healthcare, talk about roads, talk about basic amenities like water and all that. So these are the things that, but I know as an interventional agency, that is what they are supposed to do. But the state governments should not just relax. And that is why I commend the management of this NDDC now, because they are partnering now with the state governments to say, look, we cannot be doing road A and you are doing road A.
By state government, you mean the administrator?
The state governments, the 9 states.
Oh, the 9 states, okay.
Yes,
okay.
Not just River State.
Okay.
In River State right now, we have a suspended governor and the state assembly.
Know, yeah.
No, although he was a guest, he was the host today, the administrator. Okay. But that is not known to law, so we do not refer to that. But it was an intervention by Mr. President, which we thanked him for what he saw, and we hope that he brings back the governor.
Is this probably why they're giving their full support? I mean, I don't know. For the president's run in 2027, is that why?
No, that is not why the Niger Delta will support Mr. President. The reason why they are supporting Mr. President, if they have to, is because of what they see physically in ground. The only renewed hope we know in the Niger Delta are the projects we are seeing from the Niger Delta Development Commission. And you can see it is tagged renewed hope of Mr. President. If you go to the Niger Delta, as I speak to you, Bayelsa, Delta, Rivers, and all these other states, you'll see people singing the Niger Delta renewed hope. Some of them don't even know that that acronym means the president's slogan. They don't even know. They think it's Niger Delta Development Commission that has that. Yeah. So most of the projects they are doing, they tag it renewed hope. And that is the hope the Niger Delta people are saying. And what is the message the management has been able to sell to the people? You have to believe in this renewed hope. That with this hope, we are going to get somewhere. And that is why, for me, it's a little bit worrisome. Because I was an active player during the Goodluck administration. I have been a Niger Delta activist advocate for a very long time. And I find something very similar with what was happening during the Goodluck administration and what is happening now. You see people coming together from one part of the country trying to bring down any southern president.
All right.
And these are some of the issues. They will not look at the facts of the matters or what the president is doing. They will always think that as long as you're a southerner, you are not qualified to rule this country. And they don't look at what comes in from the south.
All right, we'll leave it there.
I don't want to go into those controversial lines, but
politics,
it has to be stated
We'll
clearly.
leave it there now. We'll see how that plays out. Politics is politics. Marvin Yobana, former African representative, World Assembly of Youths and a Niger Delta youth advocate. Thank you for being on Newsnight.
Thank you for having me.